Hello everyone, this is part 3 of my Operation Artemis painting series. I'm going to paint the Apex. It's exclusive, online exclusive for Artemis and Dropzone Commander, and you can get it every time TTCombat is at an event. You can buy it in their online shop or in person. And I'm going to paint this like the bullhorn I already painted. It's the same material, it's also 3D printed, a very sturdy material, and it will be the same tiger stripe color scheme like the rest of my fauna is. First of all, let's get this base out of the way. I don't want it to be painted. First I will start with Adriatic skin, and I will basically cover the bottom side of the miniature with it. If I find my brush, there it is. So I'm going to paint the underside here. I primed the miniature black and then white just to see the detail better. I'm not going to use the zenithal in any way. A little bit of water in the paint flows better. Yeah, that's better. So it has a lot of detailed muscle, and I'm going to try to make this a little bit of an important feature in the paint scheme. Okay, so there is an imaginary line here I want to follow. Also the tail. Just like this. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and use succulent green. Put that on my wet palette as well. And paint the top part of the miniature with it. And I'm not going to be careful here, I'm just giving it some color here. if the paint that is wet on the models blends with the green, I am completely fine with it. Actually, I do prefer it doing this because I'm going to blend it anyway later on. Okay, now to blend those two parts, to take some of the green, put it into the skin tone, and now I'm going to paint over this wherever the two colors meet. Just like this. Take more of my skin tone, a little bit of the green, continue the blending, just like this. I just basically want to the color to fade from one into the other. Just like that. Now I'm going to clean up a little bit here and there. Just like this. Now I'm going to let this dry, and then I will give it an all-over wash with watered down brown paint like I did with the other fauna miniatures. So I let that dry and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so this is now basically dry and I'm going to do a wash. I'm going to use trench mud on my wet palette and I am going to add a whole lot of water, and now I'm going to wash the whole mini with this color. You could use any wash you like. I will probably use a brown one. I used this watered down trench mud with all the other miniatures, so I'm going to use it until everything is painted, and this is the last miniature. Okay, so it's a little bit of pooling here, which I don't want, so I'm going to pull out some of the color here that is pooling. Just like this. So there is some pooling here. Okay, I'm going to let this dry now. And after that I will be highlighting and layering those two colors back. Yeah, so be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to use some gray color real quick, some Admiralty gray, and I'm going to paint all the teeth and all the claws real quick with that as a base color. There is still a whole lot of wash in here. It's not dry yet. But I'm going to paint the claws. Here, those claws are getting a paint, a layer of gray paint like this. this. Going to get all those claws. I'm going to wait until the paint in here is dried a bit more. I'm going to use red real quick and paint the tongue. I'll use Viscera red. Oop. The nozzle ripped the wet palette. Okay, that happened. And there is some roof of the mouth I want to paint here. Okay. Now I'm going to paint the teeth quickly. Some more paint in here. Just like that. Going to let that dry again. And while I'm on it, I'm going to use the brown again. Undiluted, and I'm going to base coat the tail spikes here and the horns because they are going to be red later on, and so I want them to be brown first. This. There's a little bit of 3D printed flesh left what's it called, a support, which I'm going to remove right now, which I did not see while cleaning up the model in here. That's it. Now I'm going to use some white, and I'm just highlighting the claws and the teeth. I touched the wet paint. I have to repaint the horn. So I'm going to do that first. That happened. I fixed it. I'm going to paint the teeth now and not touch the wet parts of the model, hopefully. There we go. I'm going to let this dry now. I don't want to fiddle with the wet horns again. And after that's dry, I'll be back. Okay, so this is now completely dry. I'm going to use some of the flesh color, a little bit of the red, to highlight the tongue. Clean up on the teeth here. Now I'm going to take some of the red, mix it with some of the brown I have here, have it a little bit darker. Basically a dirty red. And I'm going to paint those spikes on the tail. to use the same red on those horns here. And I just leave a little bit of brown. Now I take pure red and do now highlight. Thin the paint a bit more. Just like this. And now I'm going to do a middle step for the big horns here. Pure red. The top of the horn. Like this. Makes it glow quite a bit. And I think I'm going to paint those as well, like this. So I'm going to paint them brown first. Take my brown red, going to paint this in, leave a little bit of brown left. Some red. The end of all those horns. just like this. Okay, so basically everything except the skin is now done, and I'm going to paint the skin now. Taking the Adriatic skin again. And I'm going to prepare some white as well, because I'm going to need this. Water into the paint. Now I'm going to highlight or layer up, rather layer up all those muscles. Just like this. I'm going to do the whole bottom of the miniature with this, and I'll be back when this is done. Okay, so I did the highlight, the first layer, and now I'm going to paint a few more highlights on the skin. I just mix some white into the paint, and then I'm just aiming for the highest points of the muscles. There is something in my brush. I forgot to highlight the tail, so I'm going to do that. just like this. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the green. So this is going to be a little bit different because I'm just going to apply the base color again, and after that I'm going to mix green and yellow and make a highlight color, and I'm going to paint stripes all over the miniature to have the tiger stripe look. So first I'm going to use some of my green and drop the brush, and then paint the mini, reintroducing the vibrant green I dulled down with the brown wash. Just going over all the highest spots quickly. Just like this. And now I'm going to introduce yellow into the mix. First of all, I am going to mix brighter color like this, and I'm going to highlight the face first because the face does not get any stripes but needs some of the highlight. So I'm going to paint this a bit. Just like that. That's it for the face, and now I'm going to do tiger stripes. Going to use a thinner brush for that, or a newer brush for that. Both newer and thinner. With water, so the paint is flowing Looks good. And now I'm going to paint tiger stripes. I will start here. Just like this. I will paint them rather irregular. And I will go over the whole miniature, just like this. Just painting thin lines all along the body. I'm trying to have the stripes all go into one direction, but following the curvature of the miniature. Just like this, all around. and on the tail. So a little bit more paint. Thin it a bit more. I'm going to introduce stripes all along that tail. Just like that. Need them to be a bit more pronounced here. Just like that. And that's the first step. And now I'm going to have even more yellow in that paint. And now I'm going for the highest points of the miniature with the tiger stripes, just for basically a highlight. So on that, only in the middle, on the middle part here, that's more than enough. Don't paint the horns yellow, avoid that. Just going for a few lines on the highest points. That gives more the illusion of stripes. I imagine that this predator is trying to blend in very tall alien grass. need to thin my paint a little bit more. The thinner the paint, the easier it is to paint lines like this. Don't over thin, but needs to flow properly. That's way better. And that's the tiger striping then. So that's the finished miniature. I think I'm going to do some tiger striping here as well, because I forgot to paint this properly. So now I think I'm done. So that's the video on the apex. I will put him on his base and he will be done and ready. Thanks for watching. Bye.